What happens to the energy that animates a human being when life fades? It's a question that echoes through the ages, whispered in ancient rituals, debated in philosophical halls, and more recently, investigated through the lens of modern science. Thousands of years of human speculation about life after death have culminated in a vast ocean of beliefs, from reincarnation and heavenly paradises to the complete disappearance of consciousness. Yet very few have ventured to quantify or even theorize about the fate of a vital force, a soul energy, in the immediate and crucial moments after the end of physical existence. It is at this threshold between the tangible and the transcendental, between the science we measure and the mystery we intuit, that the enigmatic figure of Nikola Tesla emerges, not only as a genius of electricity but as a thinker who, according to some interpretations and fragments of his writings, may have glimpsed the fate of this subtle energy. The idea that Tesla, the man who mastered alternating current and dreamed of wireless power transmission, might have devoted part of his prodigious mind to unlocking the secrets of the soul and its residual energy. After death is, in itself, an irresistible invitation to exploration. This itinerary aims to delve deeply into this fascinating, and sometimes controversial, intersection between Tesla's science and the concept of soul energy, focusing specifically on a 30-day period following the detachment of the physical body. The question that drives us is not whether the soul exists, or where it goes in a purely spiritual sense, but rather what a brilliant scientific mind like Tesla's might have theorized about the energy intrinsically linked to consciousness and life, and how this energy would manifest or dissipate in the first 30 days of transition. We will avoid the realm of blind faith or religious doctrine, and instead seek evidence in his own words, in his visionary inventions, and in accounts of his contemporaries that can shed light on his speculations about phenomena that transcend matter. The premise here is bold. What if Tesla, with his profound understanding of the energetic laws of the universe, had approached the soul not as an ethereal metaphysical concept, but as a complex form of energy, interconnected with the electromagnetic fields he explored so well? What if he had outlined, even if only preliminarily or metaphorically, a process of disintegration or transformation of this energy in the first 30 days, a period that in many cultures is considered a mark of mourning and passage? Our goal is to unravel this possibility, examining the clues left by one of history's greatest inventors, to offer a unique perspective on one of the greatest mysteries of human existence, contextualized in the initial and critical period of loss. The relevance of this theme for the viewer lies in the profound human curiosity about the end of life and what, if anything, remains. We all experience loss, we all contemplate the void left by the absence of a loved one, and at some point, the question of the fate of their essence, their vital energy, crosses our minds. The narrative that unfolds here does not seek to offer definitive answers or religious consolation, but rather to present a provocative intellectual exploration anchored in the genius of a scientist and the mystery of the post-mortem transition. By focusing on the first 30 days, we establish a concrete time frame for the investigation, allowing for a more focused analysis of Tesla's possible theories about the dissipation or reconfiguration of this energy. It is a dive into a territory where science, philosophy, and mysticism meet, guided by the inquisitive mind of Nikola Tesla. The journey we embark on is a quest to understand the incomprehensible through the logic and imagination of a genius, questioning the limits of what science can or could have predicted about the energy that animates us and its fate after our last breath. Tesla's science, at its core, was a profound investigation of universal forces, particularly electromagnetic ones. He believed the universe to be a vast field of energy, interconnected by vibrations and frequencies. Although Tesla did not leave an explicit treatise on soul energy, his writings on ether, resonance, and cosmic energy offer fertile ground for informed speculation about what he might have been thinking. For Tesla, life itself was a manifestation of this universal energy, a complex and ordered pattern in constant flux. Death in this context would not be an absolute cessation of energy, but rather a disorganization of the pattern that constitutes the individual. The crucial question is how this energy would behave immediately after separation from the body. If we start from Tesla's premise that everything is energy and vibration, human consciousness in its highest form would be a highly tuned form of energy, a beam of specific frequencies. When the physical body, the biological antenna that supports it, ceases its functions, This concentrated energy would not instantly dissipate like a switched-off light bulb. Instead, we can imagine, following Tesla's logic, that it would enter a state of decompression or reorganization. Think of a powerful magnetic field suddenly being released from its core. It doesn't disappear, but expands and diffuses, interacting with the surrounding environment in new and unexpected ways. This initial phase, the first 30 days, would be a period of energetic transition, where the integrity of the conscious pattern gradually unravels, releasing more basic energetic components. Tesla was obsessed with the idea of resonance. He believed it was possible to tune frequencies to achieve specific effects, such as wireless energy transmission. Applying this concept to soul energy, we could infer that after death, this vital energy would lose its fine-tuning with the physical body. It would become, in a sense, detached from its primary transmission station. In the first 30 days, this energy, still carrying the echo of the living individual's frequencies, could interact in peculiar ways with other energy fields. It would not be a ghost in the folkloric sense, but an energetic emission that for a limited time would still retain characteristics of the original consciousness. Consider the electromagnetic fields that permeate our planet. Tesla believed that the Earth possessed its own natural resonance field and could be manipulated. If soul energy is indeed a form of electromagnetic energy or a vibrational entity, then in the first 30 days after death, it would be in a process of decoupling, like a system of gears that, upon stopping, still retain some inertial motion. This energetic inertial motion could manifest as subtle fluctuations in local electromagnetic fields, or perhaps as a kind of phantom resonance with the environment the individual inhabited. Tesla's idea of universal energy suggests that nothing is truly lost, only transformed. Therefore, the soul's energy, in its initial phase of disintegration, would be readjusting to the fundamental laws of the energetic universe. The 30-day period is significant in many spiritual and cultural traditions, often associated with purification or passage. From Tesla's perspective, this period could represent the window of time necessary for the individual's vital energy to shed its organized structure and return to a more fundamental state of cosmic energy. It would not be a fixed destination but a dynamic process. He imagines this energy as a wave in the ocean. Upon reaching the shore, it does not disappear instantly, but spreads, dissolves, its energy dispersing into the surrounding waters. In the first 30 days, the wave of soul energy would be in its most intense stage of dissipation, interacting with the energetic currents of the cosmos. The magnitude of this interaction, and its perception, would depend on the intensity of the original energy and the sensitivity of the environment, or other individuals, to these energetic fluctuations. Rather than thinking of soul energy as a singular entity, it is more productive to consider it as a dynamic, multifaceted field. Tesla, with his understanding of the intrinsically vibrational nature of the universe, would likely have viewed this field as composed of several layers of information and energy, each with its own rate of decay and interaction. In the first 30 days, the layers most directly linked to the individual's biological functions and immediate consciousness would begin to disintegrate more rapidly. Think of it as the disintegration of a complex hologram. The finest, most delicate strands of information, those that comprise recent memories, the emotions of the moment of death, and even the sense of personal identity, would be the first to dissipate, releasing their energy in a more diffuse pattern. This release would not be chaotic. Rather, it would follow the laws of energy conservation, finding new pathways to manifest or integrate with the surrounding energy field. A fascinating perspective based on Tesla's research on resonance and energy fields is that this transitioning energy would not behave uniformly. Instead, certain frequencies or energy imprints left by the individual could remain more persistent. Imagine a song playing in a hall. When the music stops, the echo still resonates for a few moments. Similarly, a person's strongest and most distinctive energetic frequencies, perhaps those associated with intense passions, great deeds, or profound suffering, could persist for a considerable time, acting as energy echoes in the environment. These echoes would have no consciousness or intentionality of their own, but would be vibrational remnants, energetic signatures that gradually dilute in the vast sea of cosmic energy. Thus, for the first 30 days, the environment where this person lived or died could theoretically retain energetic imprints of their presence, perceptible only by extremely sensitive instruments or perhaps by individuals with an innate sensitivity to these fluctuations. Another crucial aspect that Tesla could have explored is the interaction of this disintegrating energy with the natural electromagnetic fields of Earth and the cosmos. He firmly believed that our planet was a colossal conductor and resonator of energy. If soul energy, or what we call vital energy, is a form of electromagnetism or an entity that interacts with it, then the dying body becomes a temporary source of decoupling energetic emission. This released energy would not emerge from a vacuum. It would have to interact with the existing fields. Think of a radio transmitter being turned off. Although the signal ceases, the electromagnetic waves already emitted continue to propagate, interacting with other signals and the environment. Similarly, the soul energy released in the first 30 days could be modulated or influenced by Earth's and solar electromagnetic fields, creating complex and dynamic interaction patterns. This interaction could accelerate or slow the process of complete dissipation, depending on the energetic conditions at the time. The uniqueness of Tesla's contribution, if we apply his science to this question, lies in his quantitative and mechanical approach, even to traditionally metaphysical concepts. Rather than attributing the permanence of a spiritual essence to miracles or divine interventions, he sought natural laws. Therefore, the idea that the soul's energy dissipates in the first 30 days is more than a supposition. It is a prediction based on energetic principles. This dissipation can be visualized as a process of energetic detoxification, where the body, failing, ceases to be a reservoir of organized vital energy. The energetic impurities, that is, the frequencies unnecessary and inefficient for sustaining life, would begin to separate and disperse. This separation is not destruction, but a reconfiguration, a return of the energetic components to their original, more fundamental and less organized state. For us observers, this phase represents the transition from the individual to the universal, a return to the primordial source of energy that Tesla studied so deeply. Let us consider the possibility that this energy, as it dissipates, may subtly influence the energy fields around us, perhaps explaining certain anomalous experiences that people report in mourning. What happens to the soul's energy in the first 30 days after death is a question that, when approached from the perspective of Tesla's science, leads us to consider the complex interplay between subtle energy fields and the fundamental principles of physics he so cherished. Going beyond mere dissipation, it is crucial to examine how this transitional energy might interact with the very fabric of spacetime, a concept that, while not directly explored by Tesla in relation to the soul, is intrinsically linked to his understanding of universal energy. Tesla postulated that the universe is a unified field of energy, vibrating at different frequencies. When a complex organism like a human being dies, the energetic pattern that held it together disintegrates. However, this disintegration would not be an isolated event in a vacuum, but rather a process that would leave marks or disturbances in these universal fields. Consider spacetime as an elastic fabric. A massive disturbance, such as the sudden release of energy from a decomposing body, could create temporary ripples in this fabric. In the first 30 days, as the soul's energy reconfigures itself, these ripples could be analogous to temporal echoes, where remnants of the individual's past events, not just their memories but the very energy associated with those moments, could interact ephemerally with present reality. Imagine an old clock that, when broken, still keeps time for a while before stopping completely. This persistence would be an effect of residual internal movement, and similarly, the energy of the soul in transition could be emitting energetic signals that, for a short period, seem out of sync with the normal flow of time. Beyond the implications for spacetime, it's important to consider the role of collective consciousness and universal memory, concepts that Tesla touched on in his visions of the interconnectedness of everything. He believed that energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. If soul energy is a form of informational energy, then its release in the first 30 days could, in theory, be absorbed by a repository of cosmic energy and information. We're not talking about a spiritual plane, but rather a more physical perspective. Just as a sound wave disperses and integrates with ambient noise, soul energy would dissolve into the fundamental energies of the universe. In many ways, this 30-day period could be the time needed for this energetic information to shed its individuality and integrate into a larger pattern, becoming indistinguishable from primordial energy. Think of a drop of ink falling into a glass of water. Initially, it maintains its shape and color, but as it diffuses, its particles scatter and mingle, losing their singular identity and becoming part of the colored water. Similarly, the soul's energy in the first 30 days would be undergoing this process of dilution and integration, becoming less of a distinct entity and more of a contribution to the universal energetic tapestry. The nature of this universal memory or informational field is something Tesla, with his open mind, might have speculated as a receptacle or medium for these residual energies, a space where information is not lost, only reclassified and redistributed. The way this reconfigured energy manifests itself can be subtle, perhaps influencing random events in almost imperceptible ways, or even contributing to the sudden inspiration that arises in artists or inventors, a distant echo of the energies that once animated a being. Now, let's consider how this energetic transition might manifest itself in terms of interaction with the electromagnetic fields that Tesla explored so intensely. If the soul's energy possesses an electromagnetic signature, then its release after death would create a disturbance in that field. In the first 30 days, this disturbance would be most pronounced, acting as a kind of low-frequency ghost signal, whose characteristics could hypothetically be detected by suitable instruments. Tesla was obsessed with the idea of tuning and amplifying signals, and it is conceivable that he might have theorized about devices capable of capturing these residual energetic emissions. This residual electromagnetic signature would not be consciousness itself, but rather the vibrational pattern that sustained it, a pattern that gradually disorganizes but, for a time, maintains sufficient coherence to interact with the surrounding fields. Imagine an experiment where a magnetic disk is exposed to an intense energy field for a period of time. Even after the energy source is removed, the disk may retain a magnetic charge, a memory of the exposure. Similarly, the soul's energy field during life could have impregnated the environment and the Earth's own electromagnetic fields with a specific signature. In the first 30 days post-mortem, this dissipating signature could create localized anomalies in electromagnetic measurements, or perhaps influence the behavior of certain materials and systems sensitive to these frequencies. We could speculate that on a more subtle level, this disintegrating energy could even contribute to the formation of geomagnetic energy fields or the occurrence of unusual atmospheric phenomena, since its release would affect the planet's energy balance. It is Tesla's science applied to an ancient mystery, where energy, in its most fundamental form, dictates the rules of transition. As we unravel the intricate layers of this exploration, the convergence of ideas that previously seemed scattered becomes palpable. What emerges is not a mere accumulation of facts, but rather a reconfiguration of perspective, an interweaving of threads that weave a broader and deeper pattern. It is like observing a river that, after traversing diverse terrains, finds its final course in a vast ocean, where its individual waters mingle and expand, retaining their essence but transcending their original form. The journey has brought us back to fundamental questions, driven by the insatiable curiosity that echoes through millennia of human contemplation on the mysteries of existence and transition. The complexity of the phenomena at play, when viewed through the prism of a visionary mind like Tesla's, reveals that vital energy, far from being an abstract concept, can be understood as a measurable and dynamic force. The implications of this understanding extend beyond the individual, touching on the very energetic structure of the universe and how we interact with it in our most vulnerable moments. As we contemplate the threshold between life and what lies beyond, we realize that the laws governing matter and energy can offer a glimpse of the inexorable, even in the face of the inexplicable. This perspective invites us to a new appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things, a principle that resonates with Tesla's vision of the fundamental unity of existence. Reflecting on this journey thus far, we realize that the boundaries between science, philosophy, and our own human experience are becoming increasingly fluid. The questions that move us do not find easy answers in a single domain of knowledge. Instead, they challenge us to integrate different modes of understanding, to harmonize rigorous logic with deep intuition. The way energy behaves in its most fleeting states and in its continuous transformation suggests a universe of complexity and beauty that we have only begun to scratch the surface of. It is this continuous search for clarity, this eagerness to unravel the veils of mystery, that propels us forward. toward a more complete and integrated understanding of our place in the energetic cosmos. From the reflections we collectively constructed, the path forward to conclusion becomes clearer, revealing the need to consolidate these insights into a unified vision. The panorama expands, suggesting that the answers we seek may lie in how we connect the dots, in the synthesis of the diverse facets we explored. Each thread pulled brought us closer to a denser and more intricate fabric, where the implications of an energetic understanding of the post-death transition intertwine with deeper truths about the nature of existence. Thus, as we near the close of this investigation, we are invited to consider the lasting impact of these insights and how they shape our perception of the world and ourselves. The energy that animates existence, this subtle and powerful force that Nikola Tesla envisioned in his most audacious theories, does not extinguish without leaving a trace. As we contemplate the first 30 days after the cessation of physical life, we find not a vacuum, but rather a dynamic process of energetic transition. It is a period in which the complex attunement that constitutes a human being gradually dissolves, releasing vibrational components that, for a time, echo in the universal vastness. Tesla's science offers us a lens through which to observe this phenomenon not as an end, but as a metamorphosis, a return of individual frequencies to the primordial source of cosmic energy. The soul, in its energetic essence, does not disappear, but reconfigures itself, its impressions diluting in the universal currents, leaving an indelible mark on the energetic tapestry of the cosmos. This journey reconnects us with the profound interdependence of all things, a truth Tesla recognized in his genius. The energy released in the first 30 days after death is not a mere epiphenomenon, but a testament to the continuity of the universal energetic flow. The complex interactions with terrestrial and cosmic electromagnetic fields, the potential ripples in the fabric of space-time, all of this points to an interconnected universe, where life and death are merely distinct phases of a continuous and eternal energetic process. Understanding this transition through the lens of Tesla's physics is not an exercise in demystification, but rather in deepening our admiration for the order and beauty intrinsic to the universe. Even in its most mysterious aspects, true practice begins now. The knowledge we have uncovered, the perspective we have gained, invites us to look at life and death with new serenity. The energy that emanates from every living being is precious, and its transition after life is a natural and fascinating part of the cosmic cycle. Cultivating this awareness honors the complexity of existence and the intelligence of the universe. May the quest to understand these mysteries inspire us to live more fully, to recognize the energy that unites us with everything and everyone, and to accept transformation as the most beautiful of natural laws. The curiosity that moves us is the same spark that Tesla used to illuminate the world. May it continue to guide us in exploring the wonders yet to be discovered.